Good morning, YouTube. Top of the morning to you. It is Thursday morning, and this is the beginning of growing GCI turf type tall fescue here in my North Carolina lawn. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Please give it a thumbs up, as I'm gonna do my very best to film more than I do of the work that I'm gonna do here. And the work that we're gonna do here over the next course of the next 48 hours is gonna determine how great our lawn looks for the next 12 months. And I would encourage you, it is not too late. I am going just a tad early, but we have had an unbelievable summer. It has just been unique from what I've seen in the past 5 years. Typically very dry, very hot, and it lasts all the way until basically October. Not so this year. We've had a lot of rain, we've had a lot of cool temperatures, and as I'm standing out on my porch right now, the Thursday before the big day, it is 58 degrees. It is cool. It feels like West Virginia mountain air. So you can do this as well, and we're gonna get started today. But before we do anything, I want to show you what we're looking like coming out of summer. I want to put this, we've talked about it in several videos prior to this one, but you can see we've got patches of decently looking grass. We've got areas we've removed the dead grass, you know, with our dethatcher or just raking. Again, back to decent grass in the middle. Fading grass in the middle from lack of rain. We have not had a good rain shower in a long time. But as I just pan real quick, you can just see the very mix, the very mix of no grass along the side of this right here, decent grass where the hose is right here with some fescue that looks pretty good. And then we got struggling or dying or dormant grass because of no rain. So there's a lot of stuff we're about to do here on Thursday to get started for aeration day tomorrow. Ground is firm, it's not rock hard, but I do not want to waste my money and my time aerating this lawn with a rock hard lawn. Neither do you. So we've got Mr. Orbit sprinkler out here. I've not turned it on yet because the first thing I'm going to do in just a moment is mow this for the big day prep, which will be 2 inches. We're going to do one more bagged 2-inch mow with a Honda mower. But I do also want to get some water on the lawn today to soften it for tomorrow. I did purchase some topsoil and try to do some leveling. I had a hole over here. I've put some topsoil down. I've tried to do a little bit of leveling, not perfect. Look, and all the, man, look at all the mushrooms that popped up right here out of that. That's wild. Never seen that. Not gonna eat them. But anyways, we had a big dip here where I think there was a tree or a shrub at some point. Took like 3 bags and tried to level out this hole right here. Just quickly, before we start this process, I just wanna walk the lawn with you to show you what it looks like now and what it's gonna look like in 2 weeks. When we get seed on the ground, when we get tenacity on it, PGR, fertilizer, water, it's gonna be looking stellar. And with this cool mornings, man, it's really going to look awesome. There is a little bit of top growth, and this is why we're going to mow. You can see a little bit of the grass. It is growing, so some of the yellow, the brownish, obviously not growing. No need to cut that, but we do have some green, and I do want to get it all the same length. You can see some of the brown where some type of, I don't know what it is, probably nuts edge or something. I put the green shoots on top of this, and you can see these dead patches right here. But Bermuda on the bank, Bermuda is not even liking this cool temp, so it's starting to brown out a little bit. It's just a mixed bag. You guys know that I ran the dethatcher through here, hand raked all of this exposed soil right here. Tried to do a little more leveling here next to the driveway. So a couple bags of topsoil here. The topsoil does have peat moss in it as well, so it can act as a covering as well. But as you can see, trying to get this back up a little bit the best I can without, you know, major construction here. But this area definitely needs to be aerated well and some good seeding here. Just wanted to put on film for the very beginning of this video what we're starting off with. Some of it looking decent, some of it looking terrible. We've got peat moss. We've got my weed eater from last night cutting the hybrid Bermuda at the church. 3 bales of peat moss, lime. I've got some lime as well as some fast acting Stay Green enhanced enhanced lime, I don't know. Decided to grab some lime for pH purposes to try to raise the pH a little bit with all the peat moss we are putting down. I've not done lime in a while, and I want to put lime in, and I have failed to do a soil test to see where is my pH. Very important, but I've not done it. Just so much going on. Not done that, but I do know that I need to put lime down, so I'm going to put lime down. And I know before the lime people, the pros out there say, bro, you ain't even scratched the surface of lime you need if you're trying to raise 1 point on the pH scale. I get it. I just grabbed what I could, what I can afford, and so please don't criticize me for lime. It's just an additional, you know, step I'm going to put down, mainly over here where we've had the drip of water for many times. I got moss over there. Sometimes I'll get moss right here. This is where I'm going to concentrate that lime. That's why. So not necessarily the whole lawn. This, you know, this is all probably going to stress out with the 90s. It's going to be 90 tomorrow. It's supposed to then perfectly go back into the 70s as soon as we plant. Maybe even have thunderstorms on Sunday. So we're hoping for no washout, praying that the Lord will give us good natural rain. And then from there, we're going to have to use our own water. But this is the beginning. So here we go. The first step, let's get it mowed. I'm not going to throw that in because we've already talked for 8 minutes showing you the beginning, and I'm going to fast forward that. So we'll come back here momentarily after a quick 2-inch mow to the lawn you see behind me. All right, so we have completed the mow, and because I will be putting down a PGR for the first time this year, in case you haven't seen those videos previously, I went ahead and did what I haven't done in a while, which is mowed it low, but also did my string trimming, which I've failed to do because if it's locking it in place, you know, I want to lock it in place looking decent. So at least that's the idea. Don't know if that's necessary, but just to show you, big difference. Don't know if you can tell, but I can absolutely tell. Again, Honda mower, 2 inches. Just think, for those of you that may be doing this for the very first time this year, the next time I use my mower, this is the way my mind works. The next time I use my mower, guys, I'm going to be cutting fresh, brand new baby grass for the very first time. In which, while we're doing this process, go ahead, take the time. Unless you got a spare set of mower blades, get your mower blade sharpened for that new baby grass. Don't treat it to the old weed infested, dirty blades. Go ahead and take those blades and get them sharpened for the next time you mow that new baby grass. And look at that. We even can see a little bit of striping just from the natural Honda. So there we go. We're primarily dry. The lawn is very thirsty. And now, here's what we're going to do next. I've got the Earthway up here, link in the description of the video. Everything that you see in this big day video, I'm going to put as many links down there to help try to get you guys to help support the channel. If you're like, hey, you've inspired me, I want to do this in my lawn, you can go down Amazon, boom, have it all shipped to your house. Now for these products I got at Lowe's the last time I was there. Again, I got some spare topsoil, got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. You don't have to get this. There's like $3 bag lime at Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever, Amazon if you need it in a pinch. I'm going to throw this down. It says it covers 5,000 square feet. I am aware it naturally is going to make your pH raise. If you already know you have high pH, you do not want to put lime down if you have 7.0 pH. If you have sub 6, below 6, you definitely need some lime to help raise that up. So it is enhanced. They claim this works a little bit faster than normal pelletized lime. I don't know if that's true. Don't really care. I just figured I'd buy 2 of these to try it out. And then I bought El Cheapos, like I was telling you. I think I got these at Tractor Supply. And this is just pelletized lawn lime, and it's 40 pounds. They're massive. It's dusty, but this is something we can go ahead and do today before we aerate. So I want to, before I start watering to soften the lawn, why not go ahead and put the lime down? Next thing I am going to do that I'm probably not going to be able to show you guys because it's going to arrive too late today is I've got some 24-hour killing grub control from, I think, Bio Advanced is what I use. That's what Yard Mastery has recommended in the lawn care plan before. I have failed to do grub control for probably 2 years. And I had an experience with my brand new grass back in the day where I planted it, it came up, and I had these little crop circles. I don't know if I still have that picture to show you or the video clip, but it was on the right side of my house near the neighbors, and there was these, like, all the grass was growing. It was like 4 inches tall, but there was like 1.5 inch circle. Like 2 or 3 of them. I was like, what the crap was that? I truly believe, can't prove it because it's been you know, 5 years ago, but it was grubs that were still in the soil chewing on those brand new roots and stunning the growth of that grass. It did come up, it was fine later on, but to be proactive, I'm putting down 24-hour killer. Now, be careful if you buy a grub killer. Don't get the prevention, get the killer. If you want to do prevention, this may be a good time to do it. I don't think going into winter, I think it's smarter to do it in the spring, but this is killer. This is supposed to kill any grubs in the soil. So I'm going to spread that as well if it comes later at Amazon. Amazon comes later at my house, but I did order it last night. It's supposed to come in today. I'm going to try to put that down as well. So now we're going to go forward with the lime. Not much to see. So for this Thursday, we'll conclude it there. I'm going to spread the lime. Just want to make you aware of everything I'm doing. Tomorrow, we'll get more into filming the aeration portion. I'll see you bright and early in the morning where we will be on our way to pick up the aerator after picking up the trailer tonight with the truck after golf. And tomorrow is the big day to aerate, seed, and then throw down our PGR, our tenacity, and we'll see about fertilizer. So we'll see you tomorrow morning. Well, good morning, YouTube. It is now Friday morning, the day we're going to finally overseed and plant our GCI turf type tall fescue here in this lawn. Surprisingly, at golf last night, I look at my radar and there's a line of storms coming right towards us. After spending all day watering this lawn after mowing, I did end up putting down the lime, which you should be able to see a little bit right here. You can see some of the pelletized lime that's around. I watered many sections. Then Amazon came a little early and the grub killer came. So I went ahead and spread that. Felt super awesome that I got these 3 things done. So mowed, put down lime, put down grub killer, and then watered to soften it up. And then we didn't even get 1/10 of an inch. It rained, but it didn't rain. So no harm there. Going to get the aerator. We'll be back in just a few. All right, guys, so now what I want to do is go ahead and catch you up on where we are in the whole process of the lawn. I just got done. You should have seen some clips of aerating. I don't ever really get a whole lot of clips of aerating because I'm by myself and it's very difficult. If I had someone here to just film, be a lot easier. But that aerator did some damage in some areas, and that's what I want to catch you up on. I did down and up passes, I did left to right passes, I went over some areas 3 times, went over it again. And so as I turn the camera around, you can see this area we did, you know, clearing out the dead grass. This is why we said, excuse me, clearing out that dead grass, not a must, because you can see you're literally getting new soil here. And it punched deep. I watered yesterday, as I told you guys. I think you can see some of the tracks that went in pretty deep. I'm gonna have to grab a rake now, and you can see all the leftover dirt. We pulled some cores. I think this is the average size probably. So we pulled some very nice deep cores. It was actually really soft this morning. Next year, I need to make sure I don't water the day before. Because I feel like it's a little too soft at 8 o'clock in the morning when I do this. This took it really well, this section right here. So we're not gonna go all the way up there, and you can see on the berm and the front, I got everywhere I could, and I got a lot of it. This area took it real well. There was the soft spots was mainly right here. This was really soft, so I'm gonna try to rake some of this out a little bit. This area, I went backwards with it, you know, trying to do it, and it's like I don't know, not a good idea. So it flipped some of the grass over. So some of this may die out. Again, not too concerned. We're planting new grass, so it's cool. I just want it to be level. This has been a problem like every year I do it, and tore some of this up. So I do have a couple bags of topsoil. So here, after I film this section, we're just gonna dump some, you know, I'll probably put 1 bag here. This area was really soft. Again, flip some of this out. The front yard on the right side, right here, up here, pretty soft. And you can just see some of the areas. This is what we're doing, by the way, for any really new people. We're pulling cores of dirt out to release it, to loosen compaction, let the lawn breathe, and we're pulling cores. This is the type of aerator I like to use. I don't like the spike. The spike does not pull cores out of the earth. But this was another very soft area I need to take a rake to and just kind of level it out the best I can. Very bumpy, and it will be bumpy till all this dirt settles. It's kind of windy out here, so I apologize, but you can see the front yard. Look at that. I'm gonna have to put, it needs more dirt here because it was real soft right here. Another area, I put dirt here, it did well, but it was really soft right here. So want to straighten all this out. It'll be fine. I'm not like, oh my gosh, my lawn's ruined. It always settles out. You guys know, the vets know, dirt will always settle back down and it will level itself out again. It's just going to be, you know, this is just what it is. You're tearing it up. Several passes. I got here right around 8 o'clock, and I was done around 15 after 10. So two hours on a riding one. Could never do that with a self-propelled or push one. So here's what we're looking like aerated. So now with that said, I'm gonna go get the rake. I'm gonna level out some of these softer areas, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna go ahead and grab our GCI turf type tall fescue grass seed. Oh man. This is 40 or 45 pounds. It never gets lighter, that's for sure. Oh. All right, everybody. So I've taken a rake. I put down my 2 bags of topsoil that I have on hand, leveled out the best that I can. When we water over and over and over again, the dirt will settle. I'm not worried about it. I think it does this every year, and it's like, oh no, it's all loppy-sided and everything. So anyways, I got you in the sun, or out in the shade for now, trying to preserve battery so we can film all of this. What I have behind me, we've got I want to say this is 40 pounds. This is a 45 pound bag of GCI turf type tall fescue. Just for those that have no idea what this is, you know, I talk about it all the time. I am affiliated with GCI Turf proudly, and I'm proud to support GCI Turf and proud that they'll even allow me to advertise their products. But this is a turf type tall fescue. This is Mountain View seed cultivars. 2 of these are laterally spreading, meaning they will slowly spread in your yard. It's not like Bermuda. It is probably even slower than Kentucky bluegrass, but you have seeds in here that are capable of spreading to keep filling in over time. So that is a benefit. And why would you not want to have that benefit in your lawn? This is blue tag certified, meaning it's been inspected. There is 0 weed seeds in this bag of seed. You can't say that about all brands out there, even some popular ones. But if you have Spreader Elite, GCI also makes Spreader Elite. It is also 2 laterally spreading fescue cultivars, 1 that's non-spreading. The only difference, Pete told me when I texted him, what's the difference? He said 1 comes from one farm, a sod farm, 1 comes from another sod farm. And so that's the only difference between the 2, is the farms they come from. I'm sticking with what Pete sowed in his lawn as well, which was GCI turf type tall fescue. Secondly, we talked about this on the shaded area back here. I am going with Mountain View seed. I've never tried this, brand new. Sun and shade mix. It is a mix of Avenger, Bolt Kentucky Bluegrass, Patter Chewing Fescue, Tall Fescue. So it looks like Tall Fescue, Chewing Fescue, and Bluegrass. The Bluegrass is only, wow, there's 9% in here. So this may not hold up well when it gets to summer either, as far as the Bluegrass, maybe not even the tall fescue. We'll see. But again, as many of you have said, it's not the seed, it's the area. We know that the trees suck moisture, but we're going to plant it anyway and see what it looks like from now into spring. How about that? You want to make sure you're not putting the same seed everywhere and then be like, well, why not work it in the shade? Well, maybe it's not. The cultivars in my tall fescue don't do well in shade, but they do very well against disease. You have to look up cultivars. So we're putting this on the edge and putting this everywhere else. And also, before we get started, I want to remind you, you may want to keep back a couple pounds, a little bit left in the bag for spot seeding later. When this comes up, you're going to say, huh, it didn't come up over here. Why not? Could be runoff from rain. Could be just you missed that spot. Could be you got distracted talking. You don't want to say, crap, now I got to order more seed. I got to wait for it to ship and all that. Keep back, you know, a little bit in here. I'm not going to put all 45 pounds. Ideally, I'll put down 40 pounds and keep 5 pounds to the side for spot seeding. Want to put that out there for you. That's just what I've learned over the years. So right, guys, so I had to go in, take a 30-minute break. It is, I mean, I was just dripping sweat. 90 degrees today, 90 degrees tomorrow at the time of filming, but you're like, man, you picked the wrong time, Mr. Ferguson. But Sunday, 77, 70s the rest of the time. So though it's hot in our labor today, the results, we even got rain coming Sunday night, supposedly. We'll see if that happens. Remember, you know, you may not do it perfect the first time. This is why you want to keep some back. I have plenty back in this 40-pound bag. I've got this much left. So I would say probably over 5 pounds, maybe right about it. I'm going to go ahead and do the spray next. and may come back do the fertilizer either tomorrow. I may just go ahead and do it today. This is very important. So I've got several products here, and this is what I'm mixing. As I told you guys previously, I'm gonna be doing 2 4-gallon sprays. One bad thing is it's windy today. Also, wear your PPE, your gloves, your long sleeves. It's 90 degrees. Can't promise I'm gonna put pants on, but I may go ahead and put the shirt on, but it is drenching hot and sweaty. But wear your PPE. If I don't be like me. I am a professional, whatever. So let's go ahead and mix our product. So I've got my products here, but I don't have my mixing cups. So let me grab the mixing cups because that is very important. All right, so let's go with some easy stuff. We're gonna do RGS. I do this every year. Don't know for 100%. Some people say this is a snake oil. Some people like it, some people hate it. I just do it every year. It's in my shed. I've got half a bottle. I'm gonna use it. So per the label, this is supposed to help, by the way, this is supposed to help with root growth, some stimulant. It's supposed to help with root growth. Clearly, we're trying to grow new grass. We're trying to establish our old grass, bring it back to life. We want good roots. So that's supposedly what this is supposed to help. Do not have to have this, not required for a nice lawn, but I have it, so I do RGS every year. And according to this, for turf, 6 to 9 ounces per 1,000 with 1 gallon of water. Apply every 4 weeks for stronger with the growing season for best results. I'm not so keen on, we're not doing a big shot of RGS. I'm gonna actually do some CK as well. So I'm gonna do like 12 gallons total of RGS. All right. So there's RGS. Let's go ahead and do our CK. Sea kelp, obviously, I've talked about this over and over on channel. Not gonna do a big spill about this. 005, kelp is supposed to help with deep roots into the soil. Again, we're planting grass, we want deep roots. That's why I'm adding CK, already own it. I believe CK works. In my little test that I did here, the CK results showed a little bit fatter, thicker roots than regular water only. I like CK. You can find all of these in the description below if you're interested. Not necessary for your big day or your overseeding, but I like adding CK 0.5 per 1,000. So we're gonna add 0.5, so we're gonna add 2 ounces. So same thing actually is what we're gonna do with our PGR, but let's go ahead and add total of 2 ounces here for our 4-gallon tank of CK. So for the very first time, we are doing plant growth regulator. Never done this before. Excited to put this into the mix and apply this. I'm gonna do the first 4,000 square feet, and then we're gonna do another backpack and do the next 4,000 square feet evenly, the best we can. So the double looking, triple looking, the rate for tall fescue is 0.75. I heard from you guys, and I believe from other sources I read, don't do the full rate the first time. I'm gonna back that down to right around 0.5, maybe a little less than 0.5. We don't wanna go crazy with this. I don't wanna go crazy. If it lasts 4 weeks, great. Basically, we just want it to last for, 14 to 21 days, really. This is Promaxis. I got this off Amazon. I'll link it below, but I'm gonna do right around 2 ounces, just under 2 ounces, to make sure that we don't go crazy and we don't harm our grass. So 2 ounces for this 4-gallon backpack sprayer. PGR going in, looks like cough syrup. So our last item of this concoction here that we're gonna have to do again at the same rates. So Tenacity, I have the name brand. Actually, this is getting really old because this is the first and only Tenacity I have ever purchased. I told you guys in the Tenacity video, we are doing gallons of water, 4, so I know I need 2 teaspoons of Tenacity. And if you have Tenacity, the name brand, it tells you on this syringe. The hard part though is when it gets low, you got to stick it down in there, and guess what? The Tenacity covers the syringe. So I may end up just pouring this into this cup over here, pulling from it, and make sure I have the 2, and then dump that in, and then we'll have our Tenacity, and then I'll probably trash this and buy a new bottle next year because this is probably out of date after 4 years. Here we go. We have our Tenacity, nice and clean. I did not clean this off the past several years, but we've got 2 teaspoons and 4 gallons of water. So we're just gonna take this over and shoot it in. So now that we have all of that mixed in, we're filling it up with water, and you want to mix this really well. So I got to grab my drill. So now that we've got our first batch, we're just going to double this up. So we'll throw the camera, show you we're gonna do a bulk spray, not using the trim nozzle for the edges anymore. We're just going to use the bulk spray and try to evenly apply this to the front lawn portions of the mailbox and strip area there, and probably we'll get a pass or two before I stop, probably about right here, and then we'll have to reload and finish the remainder of this 8,200, roughly 8,200 square foot property. Number one, aerate. Number two, we put our seed down. Number three, we're putting our tenacity, we're putting our RGS, we're getting our PGR, plant growth regulator, to slow the existing grass, and we're getting some CK. Also, the tenacity is going to help prevent weeds from coming up. So we're setting ourselves up for success. We've got a full, so let's mix this up, throw it on my back. Let's get the work done, baby. All right, guys, so evenly sprayed CK, RGS, tenacity, PGR, and so that has now been applied. Second to last step, well, third to last step is now our fertilizer. You can use starter fertilizer. If you need, obviously, if you soil test and you're low in phosphorus, you want starter fert. You do not have to use starter fert. I am going to use 1800 ammonium sulfate with 4% Fe, night shift, dark matter. We're trying night shift, dark matter, 1800 ammonium sulfate. I did run the numbers of how much of this with an 8,200 square foot lawn would give me a pound of nitrogen. I would need of 1800 45 pounds. This is a 40-pound bag. So we're going to apply all of this evenly. So it's going to be just under a pound of nitrogen hitting the turf. There is no phosphorus, there is no potassium in this, it's just straight in. So hopefully that will, with the PGR now applied, hopefully the goal is, talking to other commenters, subscribers, members, and YouTubers, hopefully this will darken up our lawn without the growth where we got to be cutting it all the time. That was the purpose of the plant growth regulator. So in case you're new to it, like I am, to doing this method. So next step, we've got our earthway. By the way, I haven't even talked about it. We spread our seed with it. We spread our something else I thought we spread. Oh, spread our grub killer with it, but we got an earthway spreader here. The Scots has just been terrible. The earthway is pretty good. I will say with the seed, I had to fill it up over and over like 5 or 6 times, because if you go too high, the pressure, I think, of the seed can keep it from wanting to spread. But I noticed if I go a little bit below the earthway symbol, it would broadcast easier that way. So just a tip, if you do have an earthway, it's manually controlled by this rod back here, not like Scott's with the pull string, that sometimes that's what would infuriate me when I would have a product in the Scott spreader and it would not spread because it didn't work. I was like infuriated. Never had that issue since I've had this earthway. I'll leave a link for that in the description below if you're interested in the earthway. So we're going to cut open the night shift. We're going to go ahead and spread this evenly. I'm not going to film it because as the day gets later, I care less about filming. So just know we're going to spread this bag evenly, and in 2 seconds for you, we're going to go to the next step right now. All right, so now we've applied the 1800. We've cleaned out our equipment to make sure it don't lock up on us or rust or any of that good stuff. Earthway did a good job. I feel like I put a little extra in the front half of the lawn than the back half. I had to like lower the setting and extend it out a little more in the second half of the bag. So we'll see what that may or may not look like. I hope I've evenly distributed it. But we've applied our spray, we've applied our seed, we've applied our fert. Now it's covering the ground. The big boy over here and then you got the two littler ones. And I really don't care about covering. Obviously 3 bales don't do my entire lawn. I said several years ago, if I was gonna peat moss my entire lawn, my goodness, what a budget that would need to be. It'd probably $300 worth of peat moss. Never done that, and you don't have to do that. However, with some of the bare spots, like what I'm looking at right here, like this is a prime candidate for what I would put peat moss on. Where's my areas I need to cover? Now, I may use the peat moss roller and just go ahead and do this strip section, which I will likely do. This is the really sucky part that I don't like, is the peat moss section. So putting it in the roller and roll it down and roll it back and do this section. The hard part is just dumping it into the roller. So probably gonna take a break after filming this section and then do some peat moss areas. Anyways, I'll be back. We'll get the peat moss roller and same thing right here. We're gonna do some peat moss. We'll start right here. Well, good morning, YouTube. It is now Saturday morning. We are refilming the last sections of this video because I apparently inappropriately touched my camera, and don't tell anybody. With all that was going on with the work and moving the camera and all this, it's a touch screen on the back, and apparently I touched to make it really slow in the middle of the recording. I don't even know how I did that, but anyways, well, the last section that I failed to be able to put into it that I got to refilm is what I'm doing again this morning, which is watering. Very important. And just to summarize, because this is a super long video, and thank you so much for those that stuck around all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. Watering is so important. Now, I truly believe if you don't water at all, yes, eventually the seed, the moisture, God's natural rain is going to help your seed to germinate. You're going to be okay. We see that in the cracks of our driveway as an example, right? You're like, how did grass grow here? Places we're not even watering, grass comes up, right? So it will come up, but there's a difference between watering and a difference between keeping the seed moist. Right now, here in my home, at least where I live, we're behind in, I think, of a water level for my lawn. I think I'm just, I've been watering prior to this week, so I feel like I moved the notch up a little bit, but I don't even think we're even close to, hydrated in my lawns. I am actually trying to water. Number one, the first thing we want to do, the first couple days, you do want to water your lawn. We have granular fertilizer. We have those liquids we put down. You have seed, and we're behind on watering in the soil. So with all of those, you do want to water your lawn. But then, day 4, day 5, day 6, now you're just trying to keep the seed moist. You don't need to water in products anymore, right? So you don't need so much water unless you're still behind on, your grass is showing signs of stress. And then absolutely, you do need to water your lawn. But if you're not, and you feel like, man, I've done so much water, we're really up to speed on, my watering, then you're running it for shorter amount of time to keep the seed moist. So as I talk, if I've not already shown you, here are some drone clips that I actually threw the drone up after we was sitting down and was cooling off and was doing some watering. I threw the drone up in the air. I wanted to get some visuals of what the lawn looks like on this day, because it's going to look totally different in a month and a half. And maybe I'll try to do the same drone flyovers to show the comparison of tearing it up with a dethatcher and an aerator versus fertilized, grown in new grass, fescue grass seed, and how awesome this is going to look going into October. I really truly believe, doing it this early, that in October it's going to look fantastic. So as a reminder, let's go ahead, while we're waiting on this to grow in, we're watering, let's get our mower blade sharpened, clean off our equipment, get it all up to speed, get oil in those things, and get ready for the new season starts today. Just kind of like the NFL started a day ago. Anyways, so that's my thoughts there. So I hope you enjoy the flyovers. The drone footage always looks cool. It's just a hassle to put the phone on the thing and launch it and do all these. It's a hassle, especially when you're hot and tired. But there's some cool shots there. So again, this morning I'm continuing before the 90s, before the sun even gets above the trees over here to my left, trying to get, I've already done the side yard, the front yard, this side yard, and now we're trying to hurry up and get most of the backyard. I'm starting on the backyard now, and it's about 7:45, so I got a 6 o'clock start this morning. Jumped out of bed, let's get water on the ground. So we do need to continue to water in my lawn. But thank you so much for those that made it all the way to the end of the video. Thank you, can't thank you enough. I know it's a lot of blabbing and talking, but I like to relay my thoughts as if somebody's doing this for the first time and they need a guide on what do I do? What's my thinking here of why I'm doing what I'm doing? It's not just do this, do this, do this. Some people operate like that. I like to know why I'm doing this. So that's my thinking behind it. Not always correct, but that's my thinking. So thank you so much. Remember, use the links in the description if you've been motivated by this and you're like, I'm gonna do the same thing Mr. Ferguson's doing. I would say you have well into the end of October, possibly, depending on, this has been an odd year, so you might not have until the first part of October, but there's a wide window of seeding that you could do. The point is, we're trying to get this grass up before the first frost and a couple mows on it so that it's not damaged and immature to be killed off. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Heavy fertilizer. This is the time for fescue to get hit hard with nitrogen. So use the links in the description if you want to use that and help support the channel. Like the video, stay subscribed, because we're going to be giving you updates on what's happening here. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.